everybody. Welcome to It Was Tuesday, the podcast with your host, myself, James Chen, aka J Chenzor, where I talk all about fighting game community stuff. And there's a lot to talk about today, let me tell you. So a lot of things been going on in the past past week, I should say. Of course, the most obvious one is Evo Japan having taken place this past weekend. I was involved in the English official American restream of that at the Tenno Studios, which was absolutely a blast and just a great time. But you can see here, also going to talk about some of the Tekken 8 trailers, SNK announcements, and of course the CPT recent ruling. Now, some people, as you can see in the chat over here off to the side, right here, obviously there's also news about CLG potentially folding at this point in time, so I'll try to address that during the CPT section there, just kind of have it be a generic news section. But let's talk about Evo Japan first and foremost over here. Evo Japan took place this past weekend, and obviously an extremely big deal. This is the first time we've had Evo Japan since the beginning of the pandemic. And if you even remember, Evo Japan kind of was one of the big things that led into the pandemic. In fact, David even has footage of me and him wearing a mask walking into Evo Japan 2020. And Spooky going, oh yeah, I should probably get a mask too, because I heard there was something going around. You know, this was before we all even officially called it COVID and all that stuff. So that was basically one of the starts of that. And now the pandemic obviously has, it's obviously still going. COVID is still a problem, but definitely with all of the vaccinations and stuff like that, we are all in a much safer position than before. And so Evo Japan came back, Evo 2023, and obviously, you know, there was a lot of mixed feelings about this event, right? There was definitely ups and downs to this event. A lot of people complaining about the way the brackets were run. People were saying the venue was just ridiculously hot and humid. You know, there was the lag on the monitor at the main stream station, etc., etc. It's unfortunate to hear that, but at the same time, there was obviously a lot of good. The matches were amazing. Evo Japan, again, I mean, they had some amazing production values over there. Like, Japan definitely puts in a lot of work on the stage presentation, right? Like the player intros with the Roto Z little drop and then the steam and all that stuff like that. So, definitely a lot of good things with Evo Japan as well. It turns out, I mean, one of the toughest things about having a free-to-enter tournament is that, you know, a lot of people don't end up going. So, you know, I was actually kind of sad to see a lot of the foreign players did not end up going to Evo Japan. I would have loved to have seen, for example, how an Umi show did in Japan environment in Guilty Gear Strive, you know, having traveled. But of course, Umi show did not end up going, and only a few of the US players ended up going to play Guilty Gear Strive, for example. However, again, in case if you guys missed it, I have the games over here. Of course, they ran Guilty Gear Strive, Street Fighter 5, King of Fighters. Actually, you might, I might as well just put this on the screen for you guys so you can see over here. Guilty Gear Strive, King of Fighters 15, Virtua Fighter Esports, Melty Blood, Granblue Fantasy, and Tekken 7. Now, I'm not going to go through all the yes, Japan has the laws as well that you cannot enter tournaments for money, because I think that's considered gambling, right? So just like how Japan basically, you know, those pachinko parlors, you're not allowed to gamble in Japan like that, right? So those pachinko parlors, you're not actually gambling for money, right? You play pachinko, and then at the end, you exchange all the balls that you have won or left over for prizes, right? You exchange them for prizes at the at the shop. You can't actually win money. Never mind that next door, there's usually a shop that buys those prizes. That buys those prizes from you for straight cash. So, they have ways around it. But Evo Japan was free to enter for that reason. Because it's considered gambling. Same thing, actually, honestly, the U.S. has it too. A lot of people aren't aware of this fact, but the reason why all online tournaments during the pandemic were free to enter is because I think there are 7 states in which entering a tournament, paying money, and winning the money is considered gambling. And so it's illegal. So none of the online tournaments have entry fees because of those 7 states. Otherwise, we would have to ban players from those states. And obviously that will start getting dodgy because people will start VPNing and doing all sorts of things to pretend they're from different states, et cetera, et cetera. So all the online tournaments in the US are free to enter to avoid that, which is why something like Matcherino came in handy, which made sure that people could still make some prize money off of it. Obviously, if it's sponsored prize money, then it's completely legal. Any case, sidetrack, facts for you guys here. Evo Japan, definitely a lot of fun. Like I said, there were the 7 main games there. I do want to talk a little bit about this. Like, obviously, I was there on commentary, for example, for Virtua Fighter Top 8. I know a lot of Virtua Fighter fans probably were not necessarily happy with me being in the Top 8 commentary, as I know nothing about Virtua Fighter 8. I talked to the guys and I was like, "Are you sure I should be here?" And they were like, "Yeah, it's fine. You've got Ryan Hart and Spooky there." But, obviously Virtua Fighter is not a game that is viewed as often as a bunch of other fighting games. And so, I did take the opportunity to try to make it educational for everybody there, and to really kind of bring the joy of the game and the things that I liked about the game to the people out there, such as I just love the animation, I love the pacing, I love the way that it looks like actual martial arts, kind of thing. And I love the colorfulness of it. And, I've always been a fan of VF. I've just never been able to do good at the game. But again, we had the experts like Ryan and Spooky. And like I said, as people generally don't watch a lot of Virtua Fighter tournaments, the important thing for me as a commentator is to have people understand what it is that they're looking for and what it is that they're trying to enjoy, right? So when I was there, I was, hoping to get Ryan and Spooky to talk about things like, okay, so what are players looking for? What is the idea of this? Is it kind of like taking turns like Tekken, etc., etc.? And yeah, look, Marcus Sensei, even though I don't play it, again, just because you don't play a fighting game doesn't mean you can't have massive appreciation for it. My appreciation for Virtua Fighter 5 is extreme, right? I really, really like that game a lot from a spectator standpoint. I think it's one of the most fun fighting games to watch, even if you don't know what's going on. It's beautiful. It's pretty. The graphics are bright. Obviously, it looks better now because of the Virtua Fighter 5 esports version. But honestly, it's such a cool looking game, and I always get excited watching VF5. So it was actually really cool to hear guys like Yipes and everybody just get so hyped watching that game, basically. Spooky is super knowledgeable. You went with the main JP stream because I need the game sound effects when watching. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Because we were just restreaming their feeds. And so we had to do it actually, I'm not sure exactly how it was working, but I believe we were just restreaming their feeds. And so if we were doing that, we would get their commentary mixed together, etc., etc. So, okay, so basically, yeah. So back to this. So Virtua Fighter, again, really exciting to watch. And again, one of the things that we're starting to find out is that back in the day, before we had the online and all the stuff like that, it was very easy for players to dominate. So Itazan, Shibita, Fudo, for example, were gods of VF, and everyone was probably going to pick them to win the events, but they actually all didn't make to the top 8. I'm not sure if Shibita actually entered or not. Don't remember seeing him in the list here, but the point is also, though, that Fudo and Itazan play a lot of different fighting games. They haven't played Virtua Fighter in such a long time. A lot of other people, all these other guys have just never stopped, right? So Fudo and Itazan obviously focusing on other fighting games at this point in time, mostly on Street Fighter V. And so, it was really cool. There's a lot of parity going on in the fighting game scene right now. It's so hard to be as dominant as you want to, and absolutely Gun Jehudi Kai. I do hope everybody enjoyed the Evo show, and I thought, just talking about the commentary that we did from the Tenno Studios, I thought it was great. I thought it was a lot of fun. I love the chill vibes that we were just talking about, other commentators off stream and just chilling, lying down on the couch, having a good time. We definitely tried to make sure we put on the best show for you guys as possible. But of course, the preference is to be at Evo Japan and actually stream from there directly, because there's nothing like being at the venue itself and streaming it live from the venue, because you get the atmosphere, you get the feel and everything like that. But I will tell you, though, how close it felt like we were there doing that Evo Restream. Every time I looked at some Twitter and stuff, I saw GamerB was at Evo Japan. I saw all these people were at Evo Japan. I was like, dang, this guy was at Evo Japan and I didn't get a chance to say hi to him. And then I was like, wait, I wasn't there. I wasn't actually live at Evo Japan. What the hell? So, it was nice, though, that, we were kind of I felt like I was actually I was definitely in it, right? I definitely felt like I was in there and doing and feeling it, and I felt really involved, and I felt really immersed. That's the word I'm looking for. I felt really immersed in the event. So again, a lot of fun there for Virtua Fighter. Granblue Fantasy, really awesome to have a Japanese offline tournament. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I also don't know a lot of the storylines going into that game. I just know Gamera now is a 2-time Evo winner, I believe. I think he won a previous Evo. Melty Blood was really cool to see. Tekken 7, Arslan Ash winning Tekken 7. He is now a 3-time Evo champion. He's won 2 Evo Japans and 1 Evo America. I mean, it's hard to say. Well, right now it's Arslan Ash and Knee, right? Those two are the big guns right now. It's those two that are clearly the peak of Tekken 7. But having Arslan Ash win what potentially might be, one of the... actually, Tekken 7 will be at Evo this year, so that will be the last one. But with Tekken 8... coming up around the corner, and a lot of people playing it at Evo Japan and seeming to I definitely got the feeling that a lot of fears were assuaged a little bit, a lot of people worrying that Tekken would be a different game. Hopefully Tekken 8 would be a different game than Tekken. I think a lot of people sounded like they enjoyed it there, but anybody who has their finger on the Tekken pulse better than I do can let me know how they felt about it. Shanghai solidly and cleanly winning KOF 15, kind of like what we were expecting. Shanghai has had the tendency to sometimes shrink at some events, especially when he has that kind of pressure, but he definitely did not have any problems winning Evo Japan. I mean, there were some close matches, but grand finals was just a wash, and Shanghai really just showed that he is clearly the greatest King of Fighters player probably of all time at this point. I mean, I don't know if there's an argument, right? There's a lot of old school players, but he was dominating old school when he was much younger. That's why his handle literally is Shanghai. because that just means child. Xiao Hai just basically means a kid. He just showed up. He was a kid beating everybody at the arcade, so they just called him Xiao Hai, and here he is winning over a decade later and still dominating the KOF scene. Isla is a very, very strong character, Soul Dragger. She just doesn't play the way that I want her to play. So, again, this is the thing about KOF, is a lot of times the system of KOF is seriously much stronger than the individual characters. We'll get to that in a little bit over here, with Kim coming out. But when characters come out in KOF 15, it's less what can the character do. It's more of what can the character do to fit in that box of what KOF 15 expects of you. Isla has a lot of very, very strong things. Great normal buttons, wonderful jump CD, etc. So she can play King of Fighters 15 really, really well. I just wanted to 6K and hop around everywhere and do all sorts of crazy air mobility craziness. That's really not the way to play her optimally. She can play that way, and it's a great addition to her entire KOF 15 play style, but it's not the focus of her game plan, which is what I wanted it to be, just because I just thought it was interesting and really, really fascinating. So, when I play Isla, I'm just jumping in the air all day and trying to dive kick people and do all sorts of craziness, whereas you're really just supposed to jump CD, dash up, low, etc., etc. You have to play KOF 15. Again, that's not a critique of KOF 15, but that's just the nature of the style of the game. And obviously, some characters play it better than others, which is why you have some top tiers and not top tiers, essentially. So, because they can't KOF 15 as well as the top tier can KOF 15. Well, I don't even need to add 15. They can KOF better than the other characters can KOF. That's what makes a top tier. But again, Xiao Hai dominating. Guilty Gear Strive. Again, we had some of the U.S. players there. Jonathan Tene coming so close to getting the top 8 at Evo Japan, going down 3-2 in winner's side. I forgot who the opponent was, but eventually losing 3-2 to Daru Ino. In last round, I heard. So he finished in 9th place. So Jonathan Tene obviously doing very well, but none of the Western foreigners made it in the top 8. Latif didn't make it in there. Lord Knight didn't make it in there, and Gobo with just the most ridiculous losers bracket run. I mean, Gobo is just. When he first showed up to that Red Bull event and we found out what Gobo was really all about, because Japan is usually about stoicism, they don't really, you don't get to see their emotion, but Gobo, he is a character. Oh, he lost to Churara. Okay. He lost to Churara Kai. Yeah, so the whole Japan doesn't think Happy Chaos is strong. I mean, I even said it on commentary. I was like, there's a lot of Happy Chaoses here. So clearly Japan thinks Happy Chaos is strong. So it was probably just a misinterpretation, or just the fact that the best players in Japan aren't using him affected what we thought, honestly. But in any case, Gobo, I mean... What a guy, dude. He is just the most hilarious person. Love him to death. Love the fact that, even in Japan, we're getting these crazy personalities and everything. Poka coming to top 8 in his school uniform. Exactly. There was just, it was really fun to watch. Now, obviously I said on Twitter a while ago that I thought, US had the potential to be the strongest region. And I know a lot of people gave me crap about that, but apparently at Tatakai Tuesday yesterday, with some decent Japanese players there, Jonathan Tene and Lord Knight made grand finals. So, you know what? Look, I'm not saying that proves that I'm right, because it clearly does not prove that I'm right, because America did not do very well at Arc Revo. At Arc World Tour and at Evo Japan. It does show, however, that a lot of these players from the U.S. are young, and it's harder for them to perform as well in big environments. The main point really is just that it's so, the parity is so good, right? The U.S., the EU, Japan, Asia, we're all right there. It's the closest that we've ever had skill-wise in terms of what we have. The main point of my original tweet was that netcode being so good at Guilty Gear Strive has made the US players so strong in the game, and it's so awesome to see. Like, I know I'm trying to take the super wholesome route on this, but that's just how I feel. I love the fact that everybody is so good in the game, and I just think that's so cool. And Poco would have won if he didn't drop a hit confirm, which we think was due to monitor lag. There was definitely a lot of people complaining about the monitor lag, not just Punk, right? Obviously, I know Arslan Ash and a couple of the other Tekken players were complaining about it as well. Obviously, Punk was just the most verbal about it. He definitely held up the Street Fighter V tournament for like 40-some odd minutes. But if that didn't happen, you guys would have not been privy to, me spitting any bars at Evo Japan and on the Restream over there. Look, I'll tell you something about rap lyrics here. Rap lyrics are all about wordplay. All about wordplay. And as a person who brain just naturally goes in that direction with puns and all that stuff like that, like, I probably actually could be a decent ghostwriter if I really took the time to hone that craft, just because that's the way my brain actually goes. But yeah, Street Fighter V, Oil King coming in and winning one of his best with one of his best performances ever. I did not see the Mochi 3v3 tournament the day after Evo. I did not get a chance to see that, Alex, and I might have to go and see if I can find that. I'm assuming that's Guilty Gear Strive, right? But yeah, Oil King was playing, out of his damn mind, like Coupon said. It was really cool to watch, and I'm really happy for him and proud of him. But, obviously for Japan, that's a rough one because someone not Japanese won the tournament. But again, really happy for Mono for getting that top 8 as well. And again, the coolest thing about it, super happy for Nemo. Obviously, it's a heartbreak going basically 0-6 in the grand finals against Oil King. But I got to tell you, man, like, grand finals being Rashid/Seth versus Gil, and then third place was Nikali. Again, I know a lot of people are mad about Luke, but the way Street Fighter V has ended at this point, yes, Luke is a problem. I don't even think Luke is even as big of a problem as Elena was in Ultra Street Fighter 4. And so, like, Luke is definitely a problem, but the game is really balanced in the fact that also at the bottom end, everybody is viable. Everybody is super good. I think everybody is super good. And I think that that's really exciting, to be honest with you. So, yeah, exactly. It's healthy outside of Luke. Even with Luke, it's pretty healthy. Because again, the other thing too, and I still say this, I still think Dalsum's better than Luke. He's just really hard to play perfectly. That's just the problem. And any mistake from Dalsum will kill you. But if you are playing really on point, if you take all the Dalsums in the world and combine all their strengths together, I don't think you can beat that character. He's the only character that gets to be plus after forward throws, after V reversals, after everything. He's the only character who can be plus in like 7,000 bazillion situations. He's the best rushdown character in the game. He's also one of the best defensive characters in the game if he can keep you from getting in. I really think that Dalsum is a better player. I don't even think Luke is the best character in the game, because in the end, Luke has no shenanigans. He is going to beat you purely on solid fundamentals. It just so happens that a lot of the top players have amazing godlike fundamentals. So players like, Mena RD are going to win with the character. But in the end, you're going to be able to win with solid fundamentals with any character. And Dalsum has shenanigans on top of that. So yes, it takes a much better player to make Sim good than Luke, because it's not that it takes a better player. It takes more time to learn all of the subtleties of Dalsum. Luke has no subtleties. Luke is as straightforward as you can possibly get him to be. Okay, here's this situation. Okay, I can do this shoulder charge and be plus in this situation, or be safe in this meaty situation. It's like the only thing Luke has. But outside of that, it's just play your fundamentals, land your combos, do your damage, win. Because he does everything you want out of a character in Street Fighter V better than anybody else. So that's Luke. Dalsum, honestly, like I said, he's just like, he gets to play a completely different game than everybody else does. He's just like, whee! So, but it's so hard to win with the character. So, but that's kind of how I felt about it. Really happy for Oil King. Really happy to see him take that victory. It's the first, I think, really major win for Oil King. He's obviously won tournaments before, but something like Evo Japan, and I mean, the fact that he got top 8 at Evo Worlds just this last summer, and then followed that up by winning Evo Japan, is really impressive. So shout outs to Oil King, and that is probably one of the best half a year runs, a little over a year runs. Yeah, it's way over half a year. So it might be one of the best, 12-month runs in Street Fighter V history, honestly. Getting top 8, 5th place at Evo Worlds, and then winning Evo Japan might be one of the best 12-month runs of Street Fighter V. So, okay. So that's Evo Japan. I talked about that way longer than I expected to. I might have to break out the Punk video into its own thing when I upload it to YouTube here. So we'll see. I'll figure out how I want to do it. The hardest part about it is it's my job as a commentator and as a content creator to analyze these situations. I'm scared, like, if I put out this video like Punk is this or whatever, and Punk is going to watch it. He's going to listen to me talk about him. And I know that that's really awkward, seeing people talk about you like that. It is part and parcel of becoming a top player, though. I mean, you got to sit there and listen to Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith talk about you all the goddamn time, right? Like, that's just part of it. But at the same time, like I said, I do care about these players, and I only mean well when I talk, when I say these kind of things here. So, hopefully, if Punk does catch wind of this whole conversation here, that, he takes it to heart, and he realizes that obviously I do not have, there's no intention of me for trying to be mean to him or anything like that. So, well, thank you, Alex Gerber. Appreciate that. Virtual Onside tournament got canceled. They're having connectivity issues between their Xboxes. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I heard that there was a lot of issues with the venue and stuff like that. But, I mean, it is a good venue. So it's the biggest venue, and it's a really nice space. It's close to a lot of things. And, again, public transportation in Tokyo is ridiculous. So it was going to be really... Oh, yeah, Alex, the ending... Actually, Oil King and his wife, actually, apparently they're married, because I saw Oil King basically say, I can't do this without my wife. And so, honestly, yeah, that was... Oh, God, what a touching moment for me. But yeah, that was Evo Japan, and I can only conclude this by saying to you that I am absolutely heartbroken that I was unable to go this year, that they did not have an official live restream over there. I've missed Japan so much. I love going there. I love being in that environment. I really miss seeing a lot of my friends over there. But like I said, hopefully the English Restream broadcast was fun for you guys. I know we had a blast. Shout outs to everybody that was on that couch, including David, Spooky, Ryan Hart, Yipes, Jadelyn, Ebonic Plague, Dynamite. Who else? God, I'm missing so many people at this point because there was a lot of people that were there during the course. Sajam, of course, Tasty Steve. How did I miss Sajam and Tasty Steve? Holy crap. Yeah, Sajam, Tasty Steve, everybody that was there on the couch during the course of that weekend was really, really cool. Shout outs to all of our people live over there in Japan, like Fubar Duck, who did a wonderful job over there. I know Sherry Jennings did some stuff over there as well. So yeah, shout outs to everybody who was involved in the production. And I really do feel like we brought you an amazing show. Very, very fun show. So if you guys didn't have a chance to watch it, obviously, no big deal. But for those of you who did watch it, I hope you guys had as much fun watching it as we had doing the stream for you guys. Because like I said, it was absolutely a joy. I had a blast. It was great seeing all those guys and just hanging out. And the studio, literally Spencer's living room, but like it looks beautiful. The studio is beautiful, but yeah, it was good times. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. But let's hope that next year for Evo Japan we can actually do a live thing, because obviously, of course, Majin Obama doing great work over there in Japan as well. But obviously, we would like to do a live event in Japan, with commentators over there, because guys like Giuna and Majin Obama absolutely deserve to be on the main commentary team and stuff. They do so much for communicating the Japan FGC over to the US that they should be like staples for an English broadcast of Evo Japan. Obviously, they would rather stay in Japan and be at the event live than flying them out to the studio to hang out with us on the couch. So can't blame them for not being at the studio broadcast. So no, there was definitely a lady from the Japanese. Oh, shout outs also to the Evo Japan announcer guy. That guy was amazing, dude. That guy was super cool. How he would switch between English and Japanese and just dude, he was amazing. He was so good. My Melty Blood Moon Rap, Omega Bill Murray is seriously, I wrote that in what was it, 2013, 2012 or something like that. Holy crap, I wrote that a long time ago. But that was fun being able to read that. I thought it was funny because I was like, oh man, I know people are going to clip this, but whatever. I didn't realize how much effusive positivity that I would get from it. I've legit had so many people just telling me legit, that was really good. People were like, that was actually legit really good. They were actually surprised. So the Roto mascot Necromancy Black is literally the eye drop case. It's just that thing. The blue part is a tab. You open it up and you drop the eyes and you cap it back up again. So, but yeah, it was actually kind of funny to see how many people actually genuinely enjoyed my Melty Blood rap, even to the point where I got a high five from David afterwards, going from so prematurely embarrassed for my Melty Blood rap that he ran away before I even read it on the Tuesday show a long time ago, to the point where he actually gave me a high five. Someone has a photo officially of Tokido and the Roto Z guy next to each other. However, I think that's a Batman ploy, right? Batman probably hired Nightwing or somebody to dress up in the Batman costume to throw people off. That's the trick. It's the trick. Any case, that's Evo Japan. If you guys check the YouTubes, eventually we'll get the SNK announcements and the Tekken 8 stuff and the CPT leverless ruling videos up on YouTube. So keep an eye on that. Make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube. Put a comment down there. Sorry I was so busy at Evo Japan this weekend. I didn't get a chance to reply to a lot of the comments in the YouTube threads. I'll try to make sure I am doing my part for engagement more for those of you commentating on YouTube. But again, always appreciate your guys' support, watching all my content, enjoying all this stuff. And make sure you take care of yourselves out there, guys, and be excellent to each other. This is the wrong stream for that. My stream here, however, for It Was Tuesday, is that the day that this podcast graced your presence was the greatest day was the most important day of your life. But for me,
it was Tuesday.